We've been on the ice hearing about a very coordinated, disciplined young Tasmanian. The ones off the ice will be getting inspired this weekend with a unique opportunity to learn from a man who has recently finished up as a principal dancer with the Australian Ballet after 13 years. Daniel Gaudiello is visiting Tasmania. Daniel, hello. How did the ballet bug bite for you early in life?
Oh, hi, Helen. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I guess media, and I guess these kids today are so affected by media, but I was watching Johnny Young Talent Time about 6 years old in the 80s. It was huge, early 90s, and I just hang out for it that once a week. Mum would even let me watch TV while I ate my dinner that night. Oh. And, I went to them with a number. At the end, I said, Mum, Dad, please, I want to go here. And they sort of laughed it off. Like, oh, God, no, he'll forget about this. And I kept coming back week after week with the number written down. Guys, I want to go here. Because at the end, they give you the number. Do you want to come to the school? And, so they finally gave in and sent me there. And I was singing and doing jazz, very far away from ballet. So I realized I actually wasn't really a showbiz kid. I was pretty shy as a kid. So I didn't last long there and ended up at a small ballet school, Promenade Dance Academy. And one of 20 kids, very small school. And there my love for ballet grew.
And you've got to be that good, that young for a classical career. How quickly did people start spotting your talent?
Oh, yeah. Well, I guess around 11 and 12, I started to develop, I guess. I was a very late developer, which is a good thing for guys because it gives you plenty of time to get flexible because that's very important. And, so I got passed on from teacher to teacher because my teacher at the time didn't really know what to do with a boy. I was one of the first boys that got to that level in school. So she passed me on to somebody else, who passed me on to someone else, and then I went to a full-time school, a half full-time school, and then went to the Queensland Ballet, and then got passed on to the Australian Ballet School again at 18, and then got into the company at 21. So
for people who've been watching Dance Academy, that was kind of your life?
Pretty much, I know. It does sum it up, and it's fun to see things like that on TV. I hope it inspires new people to take it up too.
Surely. And is it an advantage to be a boy in ballet?
Well, yeah. Let's face it, there's a lot less boys doing ballet than girls, so the pool is a lot smaller, so it's easier to get chosen for things, definitely. But these days, I have to admit, it's really growing, and it's really exciting for boys because it's not so stigmatized anymore as a certain type of boy will choose to do it. Now it's very much, thanks to these shows on TV, it's accepted and it's encouraged.
What do you remember of the moment where you found out the Australian Ballet was taking you on?
Oh, I tell you, it's the best day of my life in a way because my whole training up until then actually came to something, culminated in one day, in one half-an-hour session with the director who said, we want you. That's all I heard. And then after that, it's just your mind just goes into this high-pitched ringing sort of, what's going to happen now? My life sort of absolutely flicked. And I was living away from home and I was struggling through the school. Trying to get through the school was the hardest thing. And then once I got the company, I was just, I don't know, I guess everything, my whole life just flipped. And then it was like starting again in a way. My whole training finished and then my professional life started, which was like a whole another type of training. And then you start again at the bottom of the pool in a company. So, but I tell you, best day, and a few of my friends got in too. So I didn't have to have those sad talks with my friends like, I'm sorry for you, and I'm happy for me. It's a really hard time in a dancer's life when they either achieve or they don't, and you watch your friends not achieve and you do. So it was great that me and my two mates got in. So yeah, we were very lucky. They took 7 people in my year into the company.
How international a career did you have from there?
Oh, well, I was very lucky that David McAllister, my director, who's still the director, was really encouraging of doing a lot of guesting. So I got to go to the English National Ballet, which was a highlight of my career in 2009, to do an old ballet russe piece, Le Spectre de la Rose, which is a gorgeous piece of dancing, 6.5 minutes of pure jumping. So
whoa.
It killed me. I lost so much weight because the weight would fall off you when you sweat that much. You cannot keep it on. So I remember going over there I was my skinniest and got to work with one of the best companies in the world and got seen by a lot of people and a lot of extra training. And they took me to Barcelona, which was great. So we danced on the La Ramblas And yeah, so huge highlights as a dancer is to dance not only in Australia but get to travel. So I went there. I went to Houston Ballet, which was awesome, Singapore, and also the Queensland Ballet, Western Australia Ballet, and I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, is that all?
No, well, I was so lucky because some people don't get to travel so much, and unless you go to those European companies where you get to travel a lot. So, yeah, I'm so lucky. So I finished my career very much satisfied.
What's it like to take that final vow?
Yeah, it was a very hard decision. I made a very quick exit. I guess very different to any dancer that had come before me, which is definitely my style. I never wanted to do anything like anybody else. And I didn't want the flowers and the streamers and the long ending. I just wanted to cut it. So I decided on a Tuesday that went to my director and I said, that I think was my last show. Can I please go? And yeah, very shocking, obviously, for the company because it doesn't give them time to get you covered roles-wise for the next season. So it's not an easy way to leave, but my director was very supportive. I think he knew I was struggling for a long time with when to stop, and I was taking acting lessons at the time, and my acting teacher's like, well, when are you going to try it, Dan? When are you going to do some auditions and be an actor? So I needed to do it at a time where I still felt young. So, and it felt right when I did it. It was just, yeah, for me, it felt right.
Well, Daniel Gaudiello, since your acting teacher was asking you that question, I will too. How's the acting going? When are you going to try it?
Oh, yeah, I've been doing it for about 2 years now, but I've been studying for 6 years. So I felt really prepared, but I hadn't actually done it yet. So to do my first short film, I was so nervous, but I'm like, Daniel, you studied for this. So I did a few, and I realized, actually, it's okay. You're going to be fine. So I've done about 8 since then, short films, trying to get my experience up, meeting directors, getting used to a whole new culture and new industry. And, yeah, I'm still going for auditions now. I've got an agent in Sydney. And, yeah, it's a whole another world for me. So I'm back to square one.
Any regrets about the sacrifices and that huge hard work for so many years that went in to be a dancer?
Yeah, I guess as a dancer, you give up so much. And I think kids these days want it all. In our day, you had to choose one thing and stick to it. You couldn't really jump between everything. So I chose ballet, and I missed out on a lot of family functions. When I was down in Melbourne, there was a lot of loneliness because I was very much coming from a big Italian family to being by myself in an apartment and just doing ballet every day and no family down there. I had great friends, but you miss that side. So I missed my siblings growing up, my younger sister. You give all that up. And I imagine if I was in Europe, I'd given up even more. At least in Melbourne, I got back to Brisbane a bit, a couple of times a year. So, yeah, that's the bit, I guess, if I'm going to regret anything, it's always the family time that you can't get that stuff back, So what sort of picture do you give young dancers when they come along to your masterclasses? Oh, well, I really try and build the passion of dance. I think it has to come from pure love of movement. You know what I mean? So I try to just harbour that in them because that makes sense of all this crazy training, and the repetition of ballet is it's hard for a younger person to come in every day and do the same thing. It's not as easy as an older person that understands why we do it. So I try to build just the love of classical dance, which for me is what kept me going. I love classical ballet more than anything. I love the stories. I love the acting parts in it, even more than the dancing. So I try to build that. And when I teach, I sort of always want to keep the big picture alive, as in one day you're going to do this step on stage and it's going to mean this. It's going to be a sad dance and you're going to do this arabesque that, goes for a long time, and hopefully you'll feel something. So I try to always keep it, in a way, an emotional thing, ballet, because I feel sometimes we can get very technical in this world, a bit like the Olympics, and I think it's very different to the Olympics. It's art. Thank you very much. Enjoy Tasmania. You know these dancers, but have you actually been to the state before? Yes, I was in Launceston last year, and I judged an RAD bursary, and that's where I met Shane and learned about the Tasmanian Youth Ballet Company, and I'm really excited because, I'm flattered too, because I never thought I'd be this person, and I hope I can be the mentor that they're looking for and encourage these dancers to think worldwide, but also encourage full-time dance training in Tasmania, because if you don't have to leave and you want to stay with your family, you should be able to train to the top level in your state. So So hopefully we can keep building that in Tasmania.
Thank you very much. Daniel Gaudiello, a former principal dancer with the Australian Ballet, is down running a masterclass at the Tasmanian Youth Classical Ballet Company this weekend.